player of Hendrilisk's caliber.
I don't think so either, but it's possible. It's possible. But regardless, in the upper right-hand corner of our map, he's been brought in for his team complexity. I've been introducing them all day. I hope it's not bad luck. Let's see if he can do anything here. It is Gosu User.
And I guess I'll introduce the next game. If Gosu User loses, we'll lift the veil of the curse. But his opponent, standing strong, currently 2-0 over complexity. It's Henry's Hendrilisk. And I do want to point out real quick, just thinking about this on the load screen, if we had a 6 pool that somehow resulted in one player gaining a lot of map control and the game ending in a base trade, I don't think this team league could wrap up any nicer.
That's so
and of course,
Rifkin.
the segment for that, guys, is our sponsors for this event, ZeekTV and SixPoolGaming.com. Thank you so much, guys, for putting the $1,000 prize pool together for this event. It's been a long, long trek to get here, and this is the semifinals, so one of these two teams will go on to fight Team Light in the finals.
Ooh, very exciting. Team Light having a lot of powerhouses of their own. And that's going to be an exciting match. When is that going to happen, Rifkin? Tell me. Tell me now.
We'll find out after we who wins this game, man.
Okay. Okay. This is our third game in this series. Of course, it is best of 9. Team League format, where each team sends out one player each to try and defeat the other. And Gosu User has been chosen by Complexity for this tall order to take on Hendrilisk. So we're going to see this small deviation that was prevalent in the first game. Pool for Gosu User first. Hatch for Hendrilisk first. One gets the queen up quicker. One gets the 2 queens up quicker.
Tit for tat, man. Tit for tat.
Other than that, we'll watch the production tab to look for gases of sorts or any other type of shenanigans that come down. But
I would love to have someone who's like the best analytical StarCraft analyzer in existence look at a game and just be like, yep, this guy won because of his build order. That's never going to happen in Zerg versus Zerg. Just unless you do something ridiculous like a 10 pool versus like an expansion type thing. When you're doing similar builds like this, it's going to be mirrored for the first 5 minutes. We've all been there, seen that. I mean, it's going to come into a lot of micro, I feel, for Zerg versus Zerg, more important than anything else. Especially, as we saw in Game 1 with all that Zergling and Baneling aggression.
The micro certainly plays a factor, but there are certain build order wins that you can do in ZVZ. But I think these players knowing what's out there in Battle.net, what people are potentially able to do, this has been taken into consideration forwardly. So their builds are probably safe against a variety of things that can come at them, designed to try and defeat them or catch them off guard. But we'll have to see where the buildings are placed, what units are created, what time they are created. The fast metabolic boost here for Hendrilisk, that is a result of him getting his gas a little bit quicker than Gosu User. Gosu User going to be following it up in a little bit and reaching that 100 gas point in just a few seconds.
Yeah, and I mean, the question is, there's really 3 main Zerg strategies for this, and it's win in the early game with Zergling Baneling aggression, win in the mid game, or even sometimes the late game with Roach and transition to Roach Infestor, Hydra, whatever, or Mutalisk versus Mutalisk, or whatever, but we definitely have seen the fact that Hendrilisk is more than comfortable in playing every single unit in the Zerg arsenal.
Yes. But perhaps not in ZVZ. Who knows?
I don't think you could get away with that in ZVZ, man. There's just no way a game goes late game enough and macro intensive enough that you could have full upgrades on all of your tech and be able to make a switch like that.
Well, back when July Zerg and Nest-T were still the beasts on top of everything, they had a crazy ZVZ, and I can't remember the map. It might have been... Nah, I'm not even going to try to guess that old GSL map. But anyway, they had Ultralisks and Infestors going up against each other. Huge late game tech swings, but Hendrilisk is opting for the same looking build he did in Game 1 here. He's got the Spine Crawler up with the Baneling nest to block. Queen as well. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to block his main ramp as well as he was in the first game, but is going to be able to block the natural a little bit better there. Lair is halfway done. 2 gases have been taken. 3rd gas coming.
I do need to point this out because this was actually just messaged to me. We all have to root for Hendrilisk to fail at this point. Not for any dislike for him or preference to Gosu User, but just so we can have a chance to get Scarlet out on the field.
Ooh, you're calling for it, man. You want to see it. Who doesn't?
I do. But I mean, like, let's not forget, I mean, Ghost User is a very scary player for Complexity, but they've still got Sasquatch in their ranks, man. I mean, like, there's so many good players on Complexity. They've just got this huge pool to reach in. And right now, they just got to focus on taking Hengelus down.
Yep, but we got to figure out how many builds they have in their arsenal to use right now. Gosu User is a little bit later with the Lair Tech, and as a result, we're probably going to see him go for Infestors in response to the Mutalisks, because the Spire is on the way here for Hengelusk. Same build as Game 1 here, Rifkin, but we're going to see it play out a little bit further because it doesn't look like there's any upcoming aggression from Gosu User planned.
Yeah, I mean, Mutalisks are definitely great. The ridiculousness of, like, taking away Overlords for map vision and map control, that is the same thing as killing off all of the creep of the Zerg. I mean, it's so good, so effective, and let's not forget there are also a lot of larvae you got to spend to replace them.
Third base being taken here for Hengelusk. Very bold, taking it right under the Overlord. As that's done, the drone for Gosu User moves out, takes his own third.
And he sees all those Zerglings coming across the field, so we might just see a cancel on this. No, actually opting to defend it, getting some Banelings out over here. Spinecrawler is slowly moving off creep to get in position. But Banelings of Ghost Users, oh, and are being morphed outside the base.
Being assaulted by these Lynx here, he's got to be very careful with that.
Hengelusk really doesn't have that many Banelings to respond to this with. Ghost User sending quite a few in here. We're going to see some Baneling trades go off. Oh no, both of them just going for the heart of the Zergling army, completely running past each other's Banelings. Oh, but Ghost User just has such a huge number, and there's nothing blocking this ramp. Oh no, Doom. If he can get into that mineral line, he's got Banelings, he's got Zerglings.
He's in it!
Oh my god, the Banelings are moving to the top of the ramp, but the Mutalisks are out! And, oh, the Banelings are detonating on the Queens! No, drones are lost! Hengelusk does somehow manage to save them, only 5 drones dying in that hot mess of a fight. And I don't understand how, but yeah, he saved a lot of drones there. And now he has the Mutalisk advantage. He's going out immediately taking out these Overlords. Pathogen glands, though, Infestors are about to pop, so Ghost User is going to be able to shut down any sort of aggression. He's not going to have to worry about anything at home anytime soon.
He's also got the third base up a little bit quicker here. Ghost User does have a little bit more drones, but I feel like Hengelusk is feeling a little more confident now that he's got the Mutas. Now he's going to be able to, yes, take that map control. And now with the Lings running by to the third here, can he actually get this? Is there anything for Ghost User to respond here?
I don't think so, man. He's really banking on those Infestors. He can't look at the spread on Hengelusk. He's ready for it. He knows, like, I'm not getting fungled, man. Not today.
No, that third's gonna fall. And he doesn't want to use the fungals on it. And I mean, I don't blame him because he'd have to run through this Mutalisk air mine. Can we call it an air mine?
Yeah, it's danger is what it is. Just Mutalisk danger. See, that third base does fall. Meanwhile, Ghost User is sneaking across the map with these Infestors, though, Doom, and there's no detection. Just a Spinecrawler here at the third.
This must be a tactic that the Complexity players like to use, because we did see this from Rise in the first game as well. And here come the Infested Terrans. Shift click down. Can he actually focus on the hash this time? There aren't any units to respond here for Hengelusk. Everything's across the map right now, and this third is actually going to go down, Rifkin.
Yeah, so Ghost User kind of saying, okay, you take my third, I'll take your third. Whatever, man.
That was a big response.
Oh, where are those? He does have an Overseer, though. He could start scouting for these Infestors, but he's not opting to do so just yet.
Yeah, the thing to consider here is that Gosu User didn't make drones because he didn't confidently have his third up. On the other hand, Hengelusk made drones. Now he's sitting at a drone lead, but doesn't have the base to saturate those drones with. So now he's oversaturated as natural, whereas Gosu User is very well saturated. Hydralisk Den now being added on for Gosu User as well, and the Infestation Pit's going to be later for Hengelusk too. So as Gosu User gets the energy back on these Infestors, he may have an opportunity to do some damage here to Hengelusk. He's got the larger army count at this point. Another Overlord being taken out here, and that's one thing that Gosu User doesn't actually have going for him is the vision. On the other hand, Hengelusk has huge vision across the map. Sees everything that's going on right now. And now with this attack here at the third, poking in with a couple of Lings is not actually going to do too much. A couple of units are going to go down, but that's going to be all she wrote for that. There are more Roaches to follow this up, though, but this isn't actually going to work. The Mutalisks are just going to take this out, no problem. It looks like he wanted to take the third
it'll
down.
be a little bit slower than no problem, but yeah, he will stop this aggression.
Easy
And
peasy.
he's actually going to save his base. I'm surprised he's doing so much damage, actually. But we have infestors moving throughout the map. We got more roaches coming across the top, and now he's actually just opting to back off, realizing, crap, this Mutalisk is actually kind of a threat I need to watch out for.
Yeah, that's a pretty serious threat. I mean, he wanted to take the third out, but mission not accomplished there. And now that army lead that he had previously in the game isn't going to be as much as a factor. I mean, actually, looking at it now, he does have a significantly larger army than Hendralisk. But Hendralisk is going to have his third up with way more drones to saturate it. But the drones went down to mine, but they didn't catch the hatchery in time. So we're going to lose one small round there.
Meanwhile, this
interesting
huge
engagement,
force. Yeah, I mean, he's got the Hydralisk, so these Mutalisks are not really a threat. There's a lot of infestors under this, too. I mean, look at the unit counting station. It's 10 infestors to 3. All of that energy is well banked up, nearly full on most of these infestors. So between Infestitarians and Fungals, he's going to be able to change this game.
I kind of like Goso User's composition compared to what we see from Hendralisk right now. Hendralisk doesn't actually have that many larvae to contend and redo what he needs to have here. And
Oh man, look at all these Fungals going down on
Great
those Mutalisks,
fungal.
holding everything in place.
insane fungal on those Mutalisks. Actually going to kill all of them.
And
Hydralisk is gonna
we
pick them up.
see a Team Henry members kind of doubting Hendralisk here, asking, are you next or am I? But Hendralisk's not down out just yet, but he doesn't have the numbers. That much is for sure. But those infestors spent most of their energy taking out that third plus the army.
There's just going to be too much energy on these festers. They're going to move in. The army count here for Hendralisk just wasn't where it needed to be. He made too many drones, Rifkin.
Yep, pushing up with these infested Terrans. I mean, free units
nothing to
are
contend.
really cool units.
Yeah, there's nothing to contend them. I mean, they're just...
The
they're just
Baneling Nest even coming down too,
rocking
so
out.
all of a sudden Zerglings are an option again for Ghost User should he want to use them. Although I don't really see a reason for him to because these infestors are working just fine.
Oh, Roach is even moving in here now, following it up, and there's the G.